Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the podcast, the BXR podcast. Today we have a beautiful frog as a guest,
Yep,
and
you can certainly tell by looking at me.
we're gonna talk about all sorts of fun things, some Halo, some new video games, maybe a little bit of some speculation for the upcoming Xbox showcase. So it's going to be a grand old time. But before we hop in, Frog, the first thing that we like to ask guests is, how do you feel about the state of Halo today?
The state of Halo today, well, that sure is an interesting question. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about that question. Uh, well, it seemed like it was bouncing back a bit last year, and now it's kind of, I think, died down again. So that's, my thought. I mean, I only played like the old games anyway, so I don't really care about Infinite or anything, but yeah, that's a big topic.
Yeah, I saw your tweet the other day, and obviously I can't remember who the tweet initiated from, but yeah, I saw people talking about kind of like Halo views on YouTube and whatnot, and I mean it
Yeah.
logically kind of checks out. Like you're kind of in that down cycle of Infinite has kind of run its course, and now people are kind of just waiting for the next game for there to be like a hype moment for Halo again. I know obviously you kind of cover the classic Halo games, but unfortunately you kind of get wrapped into the same hype cycle as the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, that's why it's interesting because, I don't talk about Infinite. Like, I think it makes sense for people who do like Infinite news and stuff. But if you're covering lore, if you're doing like old gameplay stuff like I mostly do, I don't see why it's really, or I guess I do see it, but it's just kind of unfortunate. But yeah, I heard it from Mint Blitz, Hidden Xperia, Installation 00. Like all the big guys are saying Halo views are down. And I mean, my views have been down the past couple months, but it's not the first time my views have ever gone down. So like I'm usually not like jumping to, oh well, it's not my fault. Do you know what I mean? Like I've had ruts where, you just upload and nothing's really banging and then eventually you get out of it. So like I'm not really in complete panic mode or like depressed about anything, but uh when enough people are talking about it, then you can certainly say that it is a real thing and not just made up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it stinks if you are primarily making Halo videos, but I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, like in your case, especially if you're making videos on the older games and you're kind of focused on that, and that's what you want to focus on. I mean, you kind of just have to ride the cycles. I feel like if that's what you're wanting to do on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean that's what, like I make videos on the old games because those are the games that, I love and stuff. But I do kind of want to move out of just doing Halo content. Like, I think just doing Halo content is getting kind of old, but then there's always the problems with trying to break out of what you've been niched down into.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
I feel you there 100%. I will say your style of content is probably like, I'm not saying it'll be easy, but like I feel like your style of content is probably the easiest to transition into other games, like because you do a lot based around like your experiences like playing games and just like some gameplay stuff in general, where it's not like you're making like infinite news videos and you're trying to be like, all right, well now I'm gonna make Call of Duty videos or something like that. Like I feel like you
yeah.
can branch out and do variety and still, I mean, you still love Halo, so like still make some Halo videos. I feel like it would probably be easier for you than for some others, but YouTube's a fickle beast, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean that's part of why I like started doing because now I do like some that are just like straight comedy and gameplay and stuff where it's really inspired by like Zanny
Hmm.
and Video Game Donkey and people like that. And a part of why I started doing those was because it was just opens up more content that I can do. Like I can just play through the game and I don't have to come up with like because I used to do like here's my review of Halo 4, here's
Yeah.
my review of Halo Infinite, here's my and it's like eventually you're gonna run out of stuff to cover. But I mean, that's what's tough about YouTube, right? Like you always have to keep adapting and like finding new ways of doing things because otherwise, if you just do the same thing over and over, either you're gonna get tired of it, or I think people who watch you are gonna get tired of it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like Jared has made the break from Halo a bit ago, and I tell myself I do, and then I upload Halo videos again. So I'm kind of a lost cause in that regard. And PopQ,
I
he
I
he
just
doesn't
I
he
just stopped uploading.
yeah, he just
Yeah,
doesn't
he's,
upload anymore.
hey,
Yeah,
you're always working on a video though.
I
Don't forget
am.
that you're always working on something.
You might
Yeah,
not upload it, but
I do work on a lot of videos that I never upload. That is the thing. Yeah.
But, all right. Well, Frog, why don't we start? We'll talk a little bit about you. So, what kind of inspired you to start making Halo videos? Because I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like I saw your channel pop up maybe like a year or two ago. Like it was like semi recent. So what inspired you to start making Halo videos? Basically, like I swear you started making them after Infinite had kind of started flopping. So like you started making them already in the decline.
Yeah, I started my channel in January of last year, so January 2023. So way after like Infinite had come out and everything. And I wasn't really interested in Infinite. I wasn't interested in talking about Halo at all, really, at the start. Like my first couple videos were about Dead Space. I just wanted to start making videos because I had grown up as a YouTube kid. My thing was Lego stop motion. I would always watch like those people produce masterpieces. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
But so yeah, I had always been interested in like just doing YouTube, and I had started like a couple YouTube channels in the past, like nothing too serious, and I'd like figured out a bit about how it works and stuff, and I'd have like meme videos and things get like 100,000 views, and it's like, wow, I'm famous, and but I never really took YouTube that seriously. And then I got laid off from my last job because the company went bankrupt, and I was like, well, now I got some free time and I don't have to get a new job right away, so why don't I try just doing YouTube videos? And I wasn't even, my expectation was I'm just going to make videos, no one's going to watch them, and in the meantime I'll just work on getting better at making videos and like learning how YouTube works and stuff. And my first video I did on Dead Space 2, and it was nothing for a week, and then all of a sudden that popped off a little bit and got like 5,000 views, which got me my first 100 subscribers. And then followed that up with another Dead Space video, and then I was like, I really love Halo, and I have this idea for a Halo video that I think would be really good. It sounds kind of cringe, I think, but there's the Jamie Griezmer quote about 30 seconds of fun that I think is really profound and applies to more than just gameplay, which, if you don't know, is him saying, how does it go exactly? He's basically talking about the core gameplay loop and about how, you can have amazing graphics and all this and, amazing effects, but you have to nail like the 30 seconds of fun, your core gameplay loop, like what the game boils down to, what every encounter is. And I thought that was a really profound quote. There was also, I forget the guy's name, but he said, good enough sucks, we want to be great, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically made a video called The Genius of Halo Era Bungie that just talked about these things and like Bungie's design philosophy, which I thought was a really good idea for a video. In that video, my third video got like 100,000 views in a couple weeks. And then I was like, oh, and Marty commented on it and stuff, which was really cool. And then I was like, well, people like the Halo stuff, I guess I'll keep doing Halo stuff. And that's how it went.
Fair.
And you said you started your channel January of last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I feel like that's kind of, I mean, relatively late to start doing Halo content, and it seems like it started popping off right away.
I mean, that's why I don't like complaining about like views and stuff. Like, oh man, my views are going down, because I mean, all things considered, like, I'm really lucky in terms of like how fast things have grown for me. So I don't feel like I'm in a position to complain about where I am and be like, oh, woe is me. I'm only getting, this many views instead of this many views. Like, I'm doing good. I got nothing to complain about.
You know what I love about that too, though? You starting that late, it just kind of proves the fact so many people complain about views and the YouTube algorithm and all of that stuff. And it's like, the YouTube algorithm has nothing to do with you being a famous YouTuber or not being one. It's the quality of your content, and your content is quality. Like, it's good stuff. And it just proves like it's not about having some magical blow up outside of like obviously extreme cases, but it's just about providing that quality content that people want to keep coming back and watching. And you do that, and it just proves that no matter when you start on YouTube, you can blow up. You can, make a career out of it if you know how to approach the content right. So I think that's the coolest thing about your channel.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, in my previous job that I worked at that went under, I'm not going to say exactly what it is because it would be pretty easy to dox me, but I worked a lot with like YouTube channels and like different YouTube creators. It was part of what got me interested in like taking it seriously, because I saw some channels who were like, 100,000 subscribers, and it's like, I can do that. Like I could make videos of that quality, and I could get to that point. I was kind of cocky and arrogant, but that was part of the push where it's like, man, if this person could do it, then why couldn't I do it? There's kind of a similar thing with authors. Like I've heard the quote before that, go into Barnes and Noble, look at how many awful books there are. That could be you. You say that to like people who want to be authors. But yeah, so that was part of it too. Like I was like tinkering about it and thinking about it for a long time, and then I finally got the push to just do it.
I can't tell you the last time I went to a Barnes and Noble, Frog.
I mean, we still have one here, but yeah, I haven't been since I was like a kid. Who shops
Yeah.
at bookstores anymore?
I
I don't know.
mean, I have one here. I know there's still one in my city. I think the last memory I have one there was when I went there in high school, and it was only because it was next to the mall. So it was like, you're a high school kid. What better things do you have to do than run around at the mall?
Ours is also right next to the mall, so that may just be their strategy. That's
Ours is
really honest
mine's
and-
near the mall too.
Mine was in when the mall shut down. It's gone now, so I don't have one anywhere near me.
Jared, there's not enough people up there to support a mall. Even major cities can't support malls anymore now. We can't be having them in the middle of nowhere.
Hey, they're thinking about building a mall here, okay, a tiny one, so I don't want to hear that. The 4,000 people in this town are ready.
That's fair. Well, so Frog, I know you've made like a variety of different style videos. I've seen you do like some reviews, some opinion videos. You also did like a lot of videos around kind of like the concept of like speedrunning Halo. Were you always a Halo speedrunner, or did you kind of pick that up just to kind of work on videos?
No, I learned it. Yeah, so that was something that I had been interested in from watching like Garish Goblin and Goat Rope and like these big Halo runners. And I thought, that looks really cool, but I don't have the time to learn how to do that. But yeah, it was the channel. I thought really like I was ripping off Rocket Sloth, because Rocket Sloth used to do those like achievement videos and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to make one of those videos, except I'm going to double it. I'm going to beat Halo C on Legendary in under 90 minutes. That was the idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned it. I spent like a month like learning it. Just so that I could make that video. And then I just never stopped because I did find it fun and because it's good stream content. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I probably would have never learned how to do it if not for the YouTube channel.
That's fair. Yeah, it's funny because I feel like I started seeing your content as they kind of quit making Halo content. So you kind of like perfectly just slipped into that void that had been left by them. Which they're obviously like Luke and Elijah are cool people, and they're trying to they want the variety route to try and not deal with the Halo cycle as much. So I don't blame them. But
Yeah, I noticed that because I mean, I would look at their channel and I don't know if this is bad to say, but it looked like they were out of ideas for Halo like a year ago around when I started, and that was something I noticed. And then yeah, since they started doing like variety stuff, and it seems like that they're really rejuvenated now.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, especially because they kind of went the same route as you, where they weren't really doing infinite videos. You only have so many ideas when it comes to like the trilogy or Reach at the end of the day, right? Like you can only come up with so many different weird ways to play those games. And they definitely had some very weird videos for some of theirs.
Yeah. And I mean, they started to get into some of the speedrunning stuff too. Like that was some of the videos I watched. I remember watching their Cody Miller video, their video about how Halo C was beaten under 70 minutes or whatever. And besides just like monopolized in the achievement videos, but
Okay.
Hello.
Yo, hey.
Oh,
There's
back.
probably
All
stories coming his way.
My my internet just like shit the bed there for a sec. Frog, are you there?
okay, it looks like, yeah.
All right.
Yep. I
Yeah.
see Pop Q.
Oh, you guys are coming back. All right, we're back.
Woo!
You cut out mid sentence, Frog, and I don't remember what you were saying. I apologize.
I don't remember. It was probably
What a
nothing
guy.
important.
Fill in the blank.
Hey,
God
all right,
damn it,
well,
Rash.
fair enough.
You
I'd like
said
to.
Halo
like-
4 is the greatest game ever made, so
I
did.
we'll
did.
go with that.
That's true.
Mm.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what I like. You were talking and it just cut out, and I was like, oh, all right. And then everything went black. I was like, that's not a good sign, but yeah.
Yeah, I dropped the mic on the stream. Just
So,
killed everything.
So have you played very much Infinite and you just don't like it, or did you never really play it?
I played a lot of Infinite whenever it first came out, and my thing was like, this is really good, but it just got old after like 2 weeks because there wasn't enough stuff to do. And then I didn't play it for a long time, and then I picked it back up with I think it was season 5. I started playing it a bit more, and I had a phase of like a month where I was playing it, and yeah, I like it. It's good. It's just, where the game is now is where it should have been whenever it released. But I mean, like, yeah, Infinite's multiplayer, it's good. I think gameplay wise, it's pretty good. It's just yeah, I don't know. I was never really like a big multiplayer guy. Like, I was always more into the campaigns, and Infinite's campaign again is like good. I liked it the first playthrough, but there's not really a reason to replay it. So I just stick with the old stuff that I like better.
Do you like the direction to try and go kind of like open world with it?
I think that was a good idea because the reason is I don't think you can just release like the same game every time, like and that was true with Bungie too. Like Halo 2 was a huge departure from Halo 1, Halo Reach was a huge departure from Halo 3. So I don't think there's anything wrong with trying new things. I think the open world was a good compromise between we can bring the gameplay back to more classic stuff. Like I think Infinite feels like modernized Halo 3. So we can bring the gameplay back a bit and not go full into the Halo 5 Titanfall ripoff stuff. The problem with the open world is that it's not a good open world, and all the levels look the same, and it gets repetitive pretty fast, and everything is just grass. It's like Halo from the first game, that level, stretched out into a whole game. Which is what we always call it as speedrunners. We call it Halo the level, the game. But yeah, like it is kind of like I really like the skeleton of Infinite. It's just everything beyond that. I think it dropped the ball, which is pretty apparent because otherwise, like it would be a big game. Sorry, PopQ.
You're good. What is your favorite Halo campaign?
Halo 1.
Halo 1.
Yeah, I'm a boomer.
Right. See, the thing with Halo 1 for me is it's it's like that. I mean, it's the repetitive level design. The same areas over and over and over again. And I get it. At the time, there might have been time limitations and stuff. So I don't really blame Bungie. They still made an incredible game. But those repetitive areas and then repetitive missions in like the back half of the game start revisiting like certain like earlier missions like that kind of doesn't kill it for me, but I mean that it gets kind of boring.
No, yeah, that's like the big
spaces over and over again.
That's definitely the big knock on the game, and like whenever you speedrun it, then it's that much more apparent because you're going through the game so fast. Like they say that in the devs react to Garish Goblin speedrunning, they're like, man, playing this game so fast, it's really obvious how we just recycled half the game. So yeah, that is like the main complaint about it, but I would say it's more of a problem with the flood. So like library, that is literally, the same thing over and over again, which I still think is fun if you run and gun through it. If you like sit back and, clear every wave of flood, then it gets bad. But, legendary running through and it's like Nazi zombies, you're running, gunning your way through the library. It's still pretty fun outside of the doors you have to wait at.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, you do have to wait at these doors. So there's only so much you can run through it. I mean, yeah, and I think it was the same video you're talking about where they were reacting to that speed run where they were kind of bashing the library in that video too.
You're like, I can't even imagine trying to play this level normally. And it's like, because I get a lot of people who are like, no, Frog, library is a good level, and it's not a good level. Like I can have fun playing it, but yeah, it's not a good level. It's a bad level.
Is that the one is that what you put as the worst level in your in your video about the worst level in the trilogy? Was it the library?
I've done a couple different ranking videos. I think in one I put library, which I completely disagree with now. I think it's hands down Cortana from Halo 3. That level just
Cortana.
I know.
For me, it is library. I think library is the worst. Cortana. I don't hate Cortana. Back in the day, playing that mission, like I did kind of dread playing it, but that was more just because I enjoyed all the other missions so much more. But now, Cortana's a cool mission. Like I don't hate it. It's different from the rest. It stands out. It's a flood mission, but I kind of enjoy it.
All right. Well, I won't change your mind.
I think it's a fun one to speedrun. Actually,
Cortana is the fucking Cortana makes you walk for like half the level if you're speedrunning it.
That's fine. That's the fun part because you got to bleed through it. and then you get to the good part because
those
now you're
sections
rushing.
are that stuff is annoying. The Cortana stuff, the Gravemind
It's like I
stuff
don't
that
want to
slows
mess
you
up and
down.
start all over and have to go back through this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even if you like Cortana, here's why Library is not the worst level still. Because Sacred Icon exists. That level is Library, except the shotgun sucks. That's my argument for Sacred Icon being worse than Library.
Sacred Icon's pretty cool.
I feel like I've just blocked Sacred Icon out of my memory, so I don't even like when I think of the bad Halo levels. I just think of Library and Cortana. I don't even think of Sacred Icon, but honestly, maybe it. I mean, you're kind of right. It's just a long like run around with a shitty shotgun for like I can't remember how long it is, but it's fairly long.
Yeah, I mean that's a level where literally like if you just had the Halo 1 shotgun, that would be a pretty good level. But instead in Halo 2 for some reason they made the shotgun dog water.
Yeah, Halo 2's some of the sandbox choices are interesting, and they're made much worse if you play it on the higher difficulties. Because then you just have like a bunch of noodles for guns.
Yeah.
Are you saying you don't like dual pistols?
You know, the pistols are really
God.
good, so I would have nothing against them. So, but all right, well that's fair. So Frog, let me ask you this, and this is maybe it's a hard question to answer, but I feel like a lot of I see a lot of discourse that the Halo trilogy was a product of its time. Do you think that the trilogy was successful because of when it came out, or because they were good games, or like obviously maybe a combo of the two?
But yeah, I mean it's obviously a combo of the two. Like if you release Halo 3 now or something, people would be like, this game, I don't know, maybe not. I don't think they're a product of their time per se. I mean, in no other way that like the Beatles would be a product of their time. Like these things got huge because they were the best things out there. Like, so I don't know what it means. Like, oh, they're a product of their time. It's like, well, they came out. Halo 1 revolutionized shooters. Everyone was buying Xboxes to play Halo 1. So yeah, like if there are any Zoomers out there saying that or whatever, I think they're silly. But I mean, and then Halo 2 took it a step further. Halo 3 took it a step further. I have thoughts on Reach that you heard me say on my stream the other day, but you know.
I'm surprised you dislike the Reach campaign that much. I'm gonna be honest. Like the Reach multiplayer, I'm on board. Fuck Reach multiplayer. But like the campaign I thought was pretty good. Like for me, if I had to rank the Bungie campaigns, I mean, it's probably on the lower end, but it's not the worst for me. I mean, unfortunately, I think probably CE or 2 is the worst for me. But like,
oh no,
really?
I mean,
I'm not a huge fan of Reach's campaign either. I'm really not. It was all right, but
like it was
doesn't
just
even
cool.
compare to the trilogy.
Arash, I'm here with you. I got Reach over Halo 2 and CE.
No,
I'm about to.
And I have ODST. I have
this
ODST at number 1.
Yeah, ODST is really
Yep.
good. ODST
ODST
is
is
ODST at
ODST.
number 1 though, like number 1.
Yes.
I would
all
have
the
it number
Mombasa,
one.
the Mombasa street sections like that. Those aren't great.
I guess technically, if we're going like seamless experience from mission to mission, I'd put Halo 3 number 1, and then I'd go ODST.
Yeah, for me, it's always been Halo 3, and I don't know if that's just because it was like the first Halo game that I actually like cared about, so I think I'm just biased. But because I played Halo 3 was like the first game I really sat down and played, and then I kind of went back and played CE and 2, and so I think that's kind of where like when you go back and play CE like 6 years out, the first time I played CE was the Gearbox port on PC that I bought in 2007 after playing Halo 3. So like when you go straight from Halo 3 into CE, you can kind of, I mean, you can see the age a little bit, right? And obviously like it only gets older as time goes on. So I feel like had I started with CE, I'd probably have like, I don't think it's a bad campaign. Like some people straight up like think CE is just bad. I just think out of like the original games, it's probably one of the weaker ones. But like you said, I mean, it revolutionized FPS games. Like it set the trilogy in motion to be as influential as it was.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problems with those first two campaigns, Halo 1 and Halo 2, are the level design. So with CE, it's just the levels get repetitive. And with Halo 2, it's like they just insisted. They saw library and they saw how everyone hated holdout sections at doors, which actually, Halo 2 has 2 mission designers. One of them is Tyson, who did library. And for whatever reason in Halo 2, there's elevators and gondolas and just sitting in the same spot for 5 minutes at a time, just fighting enemies over and over. So for some reason in Halo 2, they just double down on that. But then Halo 3 is a masterclass in level design.
At least some of those gondolas you can cheese and stand on the top, though, and you don't have to fight any of the enemies. So that was fantastic when I played it on Legendary. Because some of those sections would probably have pissed me off. But all right, well, that's fair. What do you? I think we can kind of wrap up the Halo talk. But what do you want from Halo going forward? I mean, some people. It's been a few weeks now, but there was kind of the hubbub on social media about how some people want like a full reboot for the franchise. Some people just want a sequel. Where would you like to see the Halo franchise kind of continue forward? Like, or do you even care? Are you just going to play the trilogy games forever?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I don't really care what they do next. Like, whatever they do next, I'll probably buy it or play it through Game Pass. That would be preferable, so I don't have to spend $60 on it and then play it for a week and never touch it again. But yeah, whatever they do, like, I'll probably play it. And if it's good, I'll keep playing it. And if it's not, I'll just play other stuff in the old games. Like, I don't really have that big of thoughts. I think a reboot would be kind of silly because, like, one of the criticisms of Infinite is that it ignored everything in Halo 5, and then, you know, Halo 5 like brought back Cortana and retconned that, and like, I don't know. I think at a certain point,
I think that's a little different because it wasn't a reboot. I think that's the difference there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like even if there was a reboot, if 343 was making it, and you know, like, it was still not the best, I don't think it would really matter. Like, I don't think a reboot would save Halo. I think they just need to release a good game, whether it's a reboot or not. Just put out a good game that's finished whenever you publish it. But yeah, I will say one thing. I have thoughts on the Halo 3 anniversary idea, which is that I think that's a dumb idea. But
yeah, why?
Because I think Halo 3 still looks great. I think I saw some people say like add it to the Master Chief Collection.
No, that's stupid.
I mean, like, yeah, that's stupid. Because your goal with Halo 3 Anniversary is probably to get like more publicity towards Halo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, that just seems. I don't think Halo 3 needs an anniversary. And one of the other points I made is like Halo CE Anniversary sucks. Like, everyone hates that now.
Yeah. So
true.
I
they
agree.
made some, and they kind of got better with Halo 2. I think
the Halo 2 one's really good. Yeah.
So
yeah, and, you know, you go, Rash.
Okay, I was gonna say, so I agree with you, but disagree at the same time. But maybe it's for like different reasons. 'Cause I agree. I don't think Halo 3 needs an anniversary, but I think if you used it as a stopgap between now and whatever future Halo game is, it's gonna sell gangbusters. And if they don't completely shit the bed, it'll bring a lot of eyes back to Halo that have left the franchise over the past couple games that have maybe like been disgruntled a bit. You bring them back with a good Halo 3 anniversary, and then you actually have a good game for the next game, and then you're right back at it. Halo's in a good spot again. But do I think Halo 3 anniversary or Halo 3 needs an anniversary? I mean, no, the campaign still looks pretty cool. I mean, the multiplayer still plays great in MCC. The only downside to it is the player base. So, I mean, I don't know. What were you going to say, Pop Q?
I was going to say, like, I remember years ago when people were talking about a Halo 3 anniversary. I was against it then, and my reason for that was because, you know, 343, they didn't have a really good they don't have a good track record. And, you know, I thought there was a good chance if they did do a Halo 3 anniversary, it would probably be bad. And I didn't want that anniversary of Halo 3 taking players away from OG Halo 3, which still had people playing at the time. Servers were still up. And if they made it now, it might take players away from MCC, but, you know, there's not a ton of people playing MCC right now. I can barely find games playing ranked Halo 3 and MCC. So at this point, you know, with OG servers shut down, the population on MCC, now it might be worth it just for them to do it. Like, I think maybe it would be worth the risk of them making a Halo 3 anniversary, even if it is bad.
I think
so. That's kind of where I'm at.
I think for the attention part of it, I don't remember, but I don't think CE Anniversary like brought eyes to Halo at all. But that's in between Reach and Halo 4, so it's not like now where there were no games out for years or anything.
Can I chime in real fast?
Yeah.
CE Anniversary was also fucking shit because it was just the campaign, and then they put the multiplayer into Reach. So I think it's a totally different ball game if they actually do like a full game. Anyways, continue.
But so the thing is, the other part of that, so the Halo 2 Anniversary campaign, really good, looks really good. Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer, not good. It's just Halo 4 without sprint. So I think in terms of that, if they did do a Halo 3 Anniversary, I would think it would just be the campaign. Like, I don't think they would want to put a bunch of time into developing the multiplayer, unless, I don't know, maybe you literally just do like Halo 3 multiplayer with updated graphics. I don't know, maybe they do that. But then I don't know why they wouldn't have done that for CE or Halo 2 instead of just, redoing it. But
I was gonna say, or you could flip the script a little bit. You can't trust them with a multiplayer experience when it comes to PvP. You make Halo 3 Anniversary, and you create a brand new firefight experience with that Halo 3 Anniversary. I'm just saying. And then there you go. Everyone's happy. Exactly. You don't make a bad Halo game that way. Everyone's happy. People can't complain about the multiplayer. The numbers dying. It's just like it's a good campaign. It looks great. You got some PvE to play, and then just have someone else make a multiplayer experience, and then whatever. Like that's the real problem. Let's get some other studios making some Halo games besides 343. 343 can keep doing stuff. Have them just on campaigns because I actually think they can nail that out of the park if they only did campaigns. But have like some other studios making some other experiences, whether it's like a third-person Halo, a horror Halo game, or just anything, right? Just to kind of add some variety and kind of branch out, the franchise and get some new fans instead of the same old tired, grisly, sad Halo 3 players that just can't get a good multiplayer classic experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the comment that I've seen a million times is a Flood horror game. Like, that's what everyone has commented a million times. Like, we need a Flood horror game. But, yeah, sorry, Arash.
No, I was going to say, I think part of the reason that I'm, like, on board for the Halo 3 Anniversary idea is I am a big multiplayer dude, and I just want a multiplayer game that doesn't have sprint. And I know the next game will. So if the only way I can get it is if they just reship me Halo 3, I'm sold. Just give it to me. I want one chance where we get a classic Halo game that's an actually like complete game to finally like quell the thought in my head of if it could still be popular, because like a lot of people bring up H2A as the reason, like, oh, like they tried it, and it's like, no, they didn't. They shipped us Halo 2 and they took out sprint, but they didn't change anything else in the game. Like it was still the same video game. The weapons were all like, I mean, they had different models and sounds, but they had the same functionality as Halo 4, and they were like way too easy to use once you took out sprint, and the visibility in the game was like weirdly horrible. Like I don't actually hate H2A, but
I was gonna say, and also don't forget, the Xbox One was a total piece of trash with all the marketing, and MCC didn't work at launch, so no one cared about Halo 2 Anniversary anyway. So
yeah,
it was just a nightmare setup that was never gonna work out.
Yeah, I love how people conveniently forget that MCC was broken for years. Like, oh yeah, H2A wasn't that successful. The game was fucking broken for so long. Like, I can't believe people actually argue that. And another thing I wanted to add, even if a classic Halo game didn't do well today, that doesn't mean it wouldn't have done well 10 years ago when we were saying it. So yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps up most of the Halo stuff. Do you guys, I guess Frog, I'll ask you first, you're the guest. Do you think we'll see anything Halo next month at the Xbox showcase?
I have no idea. I don't care about Xbox. I don't care about Microsoft. I follow none of these things.
This is great.
Hell yeah. My man.
Frog is just full. He just does his own thing, dude. He doesn't care. I respect that.
That's right. Well, you gotta embrace it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Frog, what besides the classic Halo games, what gaming wise excites you these days? Like what do you play for enjoyment, or what are you looking forward to?
I go in phases of what I play. Like Skyrim is like the main game where I have phases where like I want to play it constantly and then I never touch it for 5 years after. But yeah, I just go through phases. Right now I've been playing KOTOR 2 on the side, which is kind of why I did a KOTOR video, because I had been playing those games. I've been playing NBA 2K for some reason.
All right.
Yeah, I play that. And then also, like, weirdly, I never played it growing up, and I really, never played it at all, but I've been playing chess lately, like the board game. So just random stuff. But yeah, I'm mostly still just Halo.
That's fair. You got your things you like.
You said the
I don't
board
really
game.
like.
Are you playing on culture?
Are you playing online or like the actual
Yeah, I
board
play
game?
online. I don't have like an actual like board that I take to the park and I challenge people. No.
You should do that, honestly. I think that'd be
Hustle
better.
the people.
Think about the YouTube content. Like
You walk in the dog, get over here.
I challenged
I'm gonna take your
randoms at the
money.
park.
And then ask them, have you played Halo before? Well, that's why you're going to lose this match.
Exactly.
All right, well.
Halo Reach had chess. You ever play it on there?
Like the custom game browser?
Like, yeah.
It had chess. It was like
Yeah, it had you had the blue forage object, the big square, and
So
I remember that. I know.
Well, that's fair enough. Well, one last Halo question, and I'm guessing, Frog, based on your other answers, you're not going to care. But do you think at this point, like games like the MCC and stuff should get ported to PlayStation?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't really care about like the Xbox side of that. Like I see people arguing about like, no, it would be good for Xbox, it would be bad for Xbox. I don't really care about all that stuff. Like Xbox goes down, Microsoft goes down, I don't care. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be a good thing for PlayStation players and more people to be able to play it. That's the extent of my thought on it.
That's where I'm at.
Do you think that it would bring any life back to the franchise, or do you think it would just kind of be like, oh, cool, like Halo games, play them for like a few weeks, and then it's kind of just back to where we are now?
Yeah, I think you would probably get some people playing it for the first time. I don't know. It would probably have to be driven by like, if there's any channels who go for like PlayStation trophies and ever do like PlayStation, like, if you have some big YouTubers be like, I tried Halo for the first time. Oh man, this is so much fun. Blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing could drive people to do it. But I don't know. Maybe there would be people like, yeah, I always had PlayStation, never got to play Halo. I'll play it now. But I don't think it would be huge. I do think probably the only way for like Halo to get massive hype would be if they did a new game that was really good.
Yeah, that's fair. There are a lot of big YouTubers that do trophy videos, so I think that's the play. All right, we don't even put it on PlayStation. We just add trophies to the Xbox version, and then we're set. All right, we get the YouTubers over. They get their platinum trophy after having to lasso all the games, and we're back, dude.
That's like the new YouTube thing. I've done it a bit. You've done it a bit, where you just add like the Xbox achievement at the bottom, where it's like 0.2% of players have unlocked this.
I think it's like a fun wave of YouTube content, because it's like, well, you were talking about it a little bit earlier, talking about the Halo stuff, but I think it's good like multi-purpose content, because you actually have something to stream that's like fun to stream, and it has a purpose. You're not just like mindlessly playing a game, and then you can take that stream and repackage it into like an actual high quality video. It's not just like stream highlights or something like that. And so I think it's like obviously, like, not the first person, you're not the first person either, but like that's been a style of content for a while. But I think it's like a solid style of YouTube content that I don't know, at least from my like YouTube feed, seems to be getting more and more popular, at least just like challenge style videos in general. And I think like, I don't know, a lot of it I think is it's just a good way as like a person to kind of share your personality while playing through these things. Or like obviously you might not have paid attention, but like the Kai Cenat stream recently was huge, right? Where he tried to marathoned all of Elden Ring. And it's like that kind of stuff is fun to tune into and watch, because it's like you're watching someone like get better and struggle through a game that I'm not a huge Elden Ring fan, but like if you are, you're watching someone who's like playing through this game that you've beat endless amounts of times, and you're watching them like improve, and it's like a cool experience to experience like with a streamer or a YouTuber.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, cool. All right. Well, I guess I would ask you other upcoming gaming stuff, but I don't even know where to go from there. So I think we will transition to some stuff that we've been playing, and you can chime in as needed or as you want. And if you get too bored, you can just turn off your webcam and go to bed.
All right, sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, Jared, why don't you lead it off? You played some Hellblade. I know you have the Hellblade video that came out earlier today, I think. So you lead the way, because I've watched a little bit of the discourse online, so I have some thoughts on that, but I haven't actually played the game. So we'll have you lead the charge.
Well, as always, like every single game I decide to play, there has to be something fucking wrong with it with everybody. People are throwing their Xboxes at the screen. They're throwing their PlayStations at the screen. Like, everyone has an issue with every game that comes out, and it just drives me absolutely insane. So let me just start off with this. Hellblade 2, for me, was a disappointing sequel compared to the first one. Why was it disappointing to me? Because the first game, it was really repetitive in its puzzles design. The combat was, for me, really fun, but it was also very repetitive. Like, there wasn't a big, huge variety of enemies, but it was still fun. You had some really cool boss fights, and, like, you were able to get, like, kind of creative in the game. Like, you would fight, like, let's say you're fighting 3 enemies at a time. One has a shield, the other 2 have swords. You know, you had the choice, like, do I kill the faster swinging sword guys, or do I focus on the tanky shield guy? And when you fought someone with a shield, you had to use a melee attack, like a physical melee attack, to break the guard. Go to Hellblade 2, they actually just removed that button from the game. It's gone. There is no melee button. They simplified the combat down. You don't swing as fast. You don't dodge as fast. Everything's more realistic because they motion captured everything in the game. They spent 69 days alone on motion capturing just the combat animations. And it's something that's never been done. What they have done in the game from a mocap standpoint and presentation, to me, is the greatest game ever. Like, it's absolutely knocks out of the park. The narrative, like, just all of that stuff is amazing. But, like, the simpler gameplay is a bit of a letdown. Even though I don't think the gameplay is bad. It is, like, intuitive. It is fun. But I just don't think it's as fun from a gameplay perspective compared to the first game. And then when you think about, like, the puzzles of the first game, there was a lot of them, but they were also repetitive. So, like, something I wanted to see was more variety in puzzles, right? Something that just, it gets your brain thinking a little bit more. It doesn't make it so boring when you're doing the same thing over and over again. So what do? They basically cut the puzzles in half from the first game, have basically less variety, and they're even easier to solve. So it's like everything that was right in the first game, they done right in the second game, and everything they done wrong in the first game, they done wrong in the second game too. It's like there was no real sequel from 1 to 2 outside of, like, the visuals and all of that stuff and the mode capture. Yeah, of course that's an improvement, but in terms of just, like, a straight gameplay standpoint, it didn't evolve, it didn't change. It went, like, lateral or horizontal. It didn't go vertical. It was just like Hellblade 1.5, slightly different, not as good, maybe even not even technically as bad, because, one of the biggest discourses about the game is the length of the game, right? It's like, is a 5-hour game worth $50 when it has, like, I'm trying to think. In my video, I think in my 5-hour playthrough, it was like 5 to 6 hours, but in that playthrough, I spent like 35 minutes doing puzzles, and then like 35 minutes doing, like, combat, and then the rest was just walking. Like, really? So it's like, yeah, that's basically, it's like an hour of gameplay and then 4 hours of walking and story and exposition and all of that stuff. And there are games like that. That is a valid experience. Like, there are games like Firewatch, one called Edith Finch, and those are like those interactive story, and that does have a market. And a lot of people are saying, well, Hellblade 2 isn't a game because it doesn't have more gameplay than like an hour's worth of gameplay of you actually doing stuff. But I do disagree with that because it is like a genre of game. And another complaint about the runtime is, I think it was like one of the head people of the studio said the game would take 10 hours or it would have 12 hours worth of content. So people are saying they are liars, and I disagree with that because he was talking from 100% standpoint, because there are like little collectibles and hidden things you can find in the game. And if you're not using guides, if you're just playing the game naturally, it probably is going to take you around 10 to 12 hours to 100% the game in that aspect. And plus, they do have a new game plus, where when you're going back through the game, your companions actually narrate over the story in different sections and add like more, story like to the overall experience that like adds context to different situations. But it's just like, I don't know, it's a really weird experience. Like, people are like, how did it take 4 years to make this game? Well, it took 4 years because they literally are industry leading in the mocap, and like even Digital Foundry did a video on it, and I believe they said this is basically the first game where all objects in the entire world are rendered in. Nothing loads in at any point. Everything is always there. The lighting's always spot on. The water's running, all the particle effects, everything's going, and that's basically never been done before. And there's no frame drops. It runs flawlessly. So it's just like, I don't know. It's a weird
Wait,
game.
everything in the world's loaded in at once? Like,
yes,
I mean,
everything.
Really?
Yes. So you have, nothing like in the distance popping in or anything like that. Everything is detailed out. It's crazy.
That is impressive then, damn.
And that's kind of why people are calling it an Unreal Engine 5 tech demo that you can play, because it is really showing off what Unreal Engine 5 can do. And like the future of games, this will be games someday, like maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now, that will be like a normal looking game with all of the, added gameplay elements you expect from the game. And that's another thing I want to say. Everyone's saying Hellblade 2 is a failed game or whatever because of like Steam numbers, but like Game Pass is obviously going to skewer those numbers now. And then the other thing I was thinking, like, I just thought about this like earlier today. They've done all the main motion capture stuff for like the main attacks and stuff now that they put all the work into. So it's going to be easy to just transfer all of those animations to a third Hellblade, which supposedly got greenlit for them already. So I think if they make a Hellblade 3, if that's true, I think it is going to have a lot more gameplay to it compared to this second one. Kind of more in line to the first game, but yeah, I don't know. It's just I think it's a good game. I didn't care for it as a sequel. I'll never probably play through it again. Like the first one, I could play through 4, 5, 6 times and enjoy it each time. But this game, it is worth it the first time through. Maybe a second time for the extra story stuff, collectibles. But in general, though, it's not a game for me. But anyone who says it's like their game of the year or it's a game they would rate highly, I can understand why, because it is a unique experience you can't find in any other game. Not even in other interactive games, you're not really going to get an experience like this. So,
wait, did you say you played it on Game Pass?
I did play on Game Pass.
Oh,
I didn't buy it. I know. Yeah. If they had a physical version, I would buy it, but they don't.
Well, I was gonna say it makes sense because you're only playing through it once, so I guess it makes sense.
Yep. Well, and fuck, I can't buy every game I review. I'd be poor.
I mean, Game Pass is kind of clutch for that. No, that's fair. So would you say you agree with PC Gamer, Jared, and that it's a worse video game than Gollum?
Fuck no. Oh. Whoever wrote that is the dumbest shit I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, and it's just like you always got people lying about the game. Like, when you're watching, like, the gameplay itself, like, it's harder than the first game, and you do have to engage. Like, each of the combat scenarios, you have to engage in. Like, you can't just sit there and smash, square or X or whatever and kill all the enemies. Like, if you're not, like, I played on hard mode, so maybe that's a little bit of a different experience than other people, but you can't you gotta engage in the combat. Like, you will die really fast if you're just ignoring the mechanics of the game, if you're not dodging, if you're not parrying, if you're not reading the enemy movements, like the fire breathers. When they breathe the flame, like, straight ahead, you got to dodge left or right. When they do like a sweeping flame attack, you got to dodge backwards. It's like, and enemies have like red attacks, you can't parry those, and there's like a normal block and like perfect parries, and like there's a lot to the gameplay in terms of like engagement and like that feeling you get of like satisfaction when you like complete a fight. but just compared to the first game, it's just to me not as dynamic just because all fights are like 1v1 fights. You're not fighting 2 or 3 enemies at the time, and you don't have like the big boss battles like in the first game. You're just basically fighting humanoid creatures, where in the first game you fought like this giant fire beast with like a giant great sword, and this like raven guy with like dual blades, and he would throw them at you and you like vanish. Or like Fenrir, the giant whatever dog, and he would like mess with your mind and your screen would go all blurry. Like you don't have any of those like type of enemy encounters in the second game, and that for me was what was the biggest letdown.
That's fair. I feel like I'll probably eventually play it, but I'm not in any rush to play it. I don't know. I will say the fact that it's so short is kind of lures me in, because I could probably just sit down and play it. Like it's not going to be like
you still won't finish it.
All right, calm down. I finished the Call of Duty game last year because it was short. Okay. So
hey, I mean, hey, it's basically longer than that, you know. So yeah. I mean, is it really that short? I mean, it's longer than the Call of Duty campaign.
That Call of Duty campaign was pretty dog. So
that's why I'm surprised. I'm surprised you finished it because of how bad it was.
Well, I played it for like 2 hours. I was like, this sucks, but I was like, I only got like 2 hours left, so I might as well power through.
But the question is, will we get someone on stage at the end of the year going, well, this speech was almost as long as Hellblade 2?
Oh, Jesus. Who knows? All right. Well, I guess that's Hellblade. Maybe if I played at some point, we can bring it back up. Frog, you said you've been playing KOTOR lately. Are you a fan of all the BioWare games, or just the KOTOR games?
Well, one thing, I have never heard of Hellblade before, so that was interesting to listen to. Now I know about it.
I love this.
Yeah,
Frog, you kind of live in your own world.
No, that's perfect.
This is great. Like, you just don't engage with gaming discourse, and I'm kind of jealous. Like, this actually seems like the life I should be living.
Yeah, this is my dream. You're my new favorite person. This is perfect.
Like, listen, I don't really like watch gaming content or like go on Twitter for gaming or anything. Like, I don't know what people are talking about. I watch like YouTube, same thing. Like, I go through phases. Like, I had a Shark Tank phase where I was just watching Shark Tank for like a couple months, and now I'm on my chess phase, even though I don't play chess. Or now I guess I kind of do. But yeah, I don't really watch, like, I don't keep up with what people are talking about. But anyway, BioWare games. Yeah, KOTOR is really good. I also really like the Mass Effect games. Like, Mass Effect 2, I think, is a perfect game. Like, that's a 10 out of 10. Could not be improved upon.
My question for you is, I was just going to say, are you excited about a KOTOR remake at all? Supposedly that's coming. Is that something that interests you, or do you think it's a bad idea?
Well, they've been talking about that for like 10 years, and I don't know, it keeps getting delayed and stuff, so we'll see if it ever happens. I'm not like hyped for it, like, oh man, I can't wait. Like, I would play that if it came out. But I don't know, I think it'd be interesting how they would handle combat, because I like the D20 system and how they do it on KOTOR. Although I know that a lot of people don't, and it sounds like with a remake, they wouldn't do that. They'd have like real-time combat or whatever, which would completely change the game, but I don't know. It just depends on how they execute it. But I did see that they were going to do like a KOTOR TV show. So
I didn't see that.
So I have never played the KOTOR games, but I have played the Mass Effect games. Is the combat in KOTOR similar to like Mass Effect 1, or is it different than that?
It's different than that, but Mass Effect 1 is the most similar. But yeah, Mass Effect 1 is real time. All the KOTOR games, it's like turn-based, but it's hidden.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's it literally is like, I don't know what the system's called, but it's like a Dungeons and Dragons like roleplay system where there's like a 20-sided die in the background that like gets rolled and checks your attacks, and you have like all these different modifiers and stuff, and it's really geeky.
Think of Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't played that, but from what I've seen,
I think Arash, you've played it though, right?
Yeah, I've played Baldur's Gate.
Did you play Baldur's Gate? Yeah, so just kind of like that, not exactly the same.
You know, par for the course. That one was that was a lost cause. I think I played 10 hours. I'm not even out of the first act, so that shit's never getting finished. But okay, well, that's fair. So you think Mass Effect 2 is the perfect game? So
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the combat in Mass Effect 1? Because, like, semi-recently I tried to go back and play the Mass Effect games, and I got, like, halfway through Mass Effect 1, and, like, the story was cool, and I was just, like, sick of the combat. I just stopped playing.
No, yeah. Whenever I got that game, like, I think I got Mass Effect 2 in 2010 or 2011 because my dad heard that the Mass Effect games were really cool, and, you know, we both like KOTOR. So he got Mass Effect 1. Just because he heard Mass Effect 2 was awesome. And yeah, I remember slogging my way through Mass Effect 1. I did not enjoy it at all. I mean, I guess I like the story. I like the RPG elements. It is like the most standard RPG of any of the Mass Effect games. And, you know, like exploring the Citadel and stuff like that's straight out of KOTOR. But then, yeah, the combat is just so bad. Did you ever play Mass Effect 2?
Yeah, I've played all of them. Well,
yes.
I haven't played Andromeda, but I've played
Andromeda sucks. Don't play it.
All right, well, fair enough. That's why I never played it, and then I never went back. So
those driving sections were terrible.
Dude, the driving sections in the first game were terrible, so it went full circle.
Yeah, Andromeda was the game that made me swear off like ever pre-ordering again because I was 16 when that came out, and I was broke, and I was like, you know what, I don't have a job yet, and you know what, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm gonna pre-order this game because I'm so hyped for it. And then it came out. I played it for maybe 3 hours, and I have not opened it since. It's fucking awful. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. But what I really need to know is did this is gonna sound wrong if I say it wrong.
No.
Did you or did you not punch her?
Yes, even if I was Paragon.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure I did too. So all right, so maybe I don't know if this is like a hot statement. I actually think the ending for Mass Effect 3 sucks, but I actually think it's my favorite Mass Effect game because the combat in it was the most fleshed out, and I had the most fun with the gameplay. Like, Mass Effect 2 is a huge improvement over the first one, but even still, I feel like combat-wise and just like the action gameplay, Mass Effect 3 takes it to like a whole new level, and that's what I really enjoyed about the third one.
Yeah, Mass Effect 3 plays really well. For me, Mass Effect 3 just has too many annoying things that add up. Like, well, there's the ending, which I don't like, spoiler alert, because it makes everything you do in the game in the series
don't spoil the ending.
It makes everything not matter. Like, you spend the whole game, like, collecting war assets and stuff, and it just doesn't matter. So for anyone watching who hasn't played it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Which that I don't like. And then, you know, it's like, oh man, now I got to replay all 3 games and see how the ending is totally different. It's not going to be totally different. And then there's weird things like there's no quest tracking. Like, that always just really annoyed me. That's such a random thing to get rid of. Like, you have your quests in the journal, and it'll say, like, find this thing, and it'll never update if you get it. Like, it'll just always stay the same. And then I think they went too far in, like, taking out the RPG elements, and there's not really much in the way of exploration. Like, Mass Effect 2 was already trending in that direction, but then Mass Effect 3, I think, went too far, and it kind of similar to Dead Space 3 and Dead Space 2. Like, Dead Space 3 pretty much just became an action game. And for whatever reason, these EA games, second in the series, is always, like, the best fusion of everything.
The second, I feel like the second one improves off the first one, and then the third one they try and hit the full mainstream, and it goes too far.
Are you talking just in general?
Yeah, it was just EA games. Because I mean, yeah. Dead Space 3 is like watered down Dead Space.
Yeah, I mean, no, they made it a cover shooter.
Yeah,
and there's like, and it's like, why?
You can play it co-op.
Well, just that era of gaming, like every studio is like, oh, we got to have high action. Resident Evil 5, Dead Space 3, you know, it's just a formula everyone had to follow, and it was just so dumb.
Did you play the Dead Space remake, Frog?
I did. I never beat it, but I thought it was pretty good. Which, actually, let me tell you what, I probably need to unlist the video. I have not said this publicly. I have said it to a few people, but my 3rd, 4th video I ever did was a review of the remake. I made that. I didn't beat the game yet. Like, I just played it for a little bit, and I was like, well, this just came out. Let me make a video about it just to capitalize on it.
Hey.
And I mean, no one figured it out. No one ever said this guy hasn't actually played the game. So there we go.
You got one past him, and that's,
you know what?
that's all that matters.
This sounds like This sounds like a strategy I need to adopt with reviews. Just play
Yeah,
a couple
don't even
hours,
play
be
the
like, all right,
game."
guys, this is how the whole game is.
I mean, I'm
I mean,
sure.
to be fair though, if you
sure-
play the original, it's not
Yeah.
too different.
I will say I'm sure that would burn you sometimes, but I feel like a lot of games you get 4 or 5 hours in and that's kind of the game. Like it's very rare that I feel like a game like 8 to 10, 12 hours in massively changes what you're doing. I mean there's some obviously, but it depends on the length too. If the game's like 40 hours long, you only play 4, you're probably not getting the gist of it. But if you're playing a COD campaign and it's 6 to 8 hours long, I think the first 4 you probably get the gist of the whole campaign. But
Yeah, there was a YouTuber I used to watch. His name was, I think, B Dobbins FTW. This was like 10 years ago. I remember one time he talked about how he used to always, like, whenever a new COD game came out, he used to release videos called, like, how to fix lag in whatever the new COD game is titled. Because he was like, every COD game's going to have lag, so, I'll just make a video about it and then give, like, basic troubleshooting things. And it's like, that's not something I would ever do. However, it does make sense. But yeah.
Yeah, so
Dead Space game's
I
really
know
good.
exactly who you're talking about, and it's funny because recently he showed up on my feed because he made a video about how should we use Halo to train the military, and I thought that was comical.
God.
So I've shared that in the group chat, so
Yeah.
you can watch
Wait,
that later.
which game?
Just any of them, just you pick, just any of them.
That matters.
That's
Nah.
incredible.
We're gonna use Halo Infinite.
This is how
to
you
train
take
the
down your
military.
enemy shields. Charge that plasma pistol up.
I think the gist of it was just supposed to be like a teamwork exercise, but just the thumbnail and the title
Don't
alone
do
was just
that.
too much for me. Like I saw that and I was just like, dude, come on, this is
I mean,
too
hey.
fucking much.
If you can get along with randoms and matchmaking, you can make it on the battlefield, man. You can survive any
Exactly.
situation.
Well, that's fair. Are you excited for whenever they make a new Mass Effect game, or did they burn you?
Oh God. Are they supposed to make a new Mass Effect game?
Yeah, it's supposed to come
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
after the
Mass
next
Effect
Dragon
4
Age.
is on the way.
Right.
Okay, well, I'll have very low expectations for it because if you have low expectations, you can't be disappointed. Yeah, I don't know. Those are games I need to replay because I haven't played them in a long time. But yeah, Mass Effect 1 is always a slog. But I don't know. I'd probably play Mass Effect 4 whenever it came to Game Pass. I don't know if I'd pay for it. But
Hey, aren't the EA games part of Game Pass or like something is like EA Play is part of my?
Oh, yeah, they are.
shit. Yeah,
I think so.
You're
Yeah.
set. Assuming Game
Yeah, there
Pass
we
still
go.
exists, you probably missed all the discussion, but some people don't like Game Pass, so
well, I saw that people
it's
thought
not-
it's like bad for Xbox, which I don't care about. But
I just love this.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, hey, it's making like 500 million a month. It's not going anywhere.
that's oh God, that's funny. All right, well, fair enough. So I saw you made some videos on like the OG MW2. Do you ever play the new COD games or just the old ones?
you may be surprised by my answer, but I haven't bought a COD game since Advanced Warfare,
Hell yeah.
and that I played like 20 minutes of. So yeah, like
Hey, hell yeah.
yeah,
Neither have I.
because I mean, like I was really like COD 4, one of my favorite games ever. Modern Warfare 2, one of my favorite games ever. I think I got burned out like around the time Black Ops came out. Like Black Ops I thought was fun, but at the same time it was like, I don't know, each game kind of feels like the last one. And then they just keep releasing a game every year and it's like, yeah, I'm just not interested in this anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
But I don't know
always-
that
I would always pick and choose which COD games I got each year. Like I stopped buying COD every year after MW3, and then I got COD 4 remastered when that came out. Bought Modern Warfare 2022, and that game was ass. Skipped on MW3.
You missed out, dude.
But hopefully Black
I
Ops
don't know,
6 is
sorry.
good.
Yeah, like
Six?
what?
What?
9/11's supposed to be in it, you know?
I know, right?
that should
Isn't
be
that
fun.
exciting?
Hey, so
Can't wait to.
dude, if it's anything like their remake of the No Russian mission from the recent, did either of you play the recent campaign?
I seen it,
Okay,
but
so, like,
yeah,
they-
that was stupid.
They redid it. It was just
disappointing.
like a horrible like reincarnation of it. So I can only imagine what their their version of 9/11 is gonna be like. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know, but I don't have high hopes for Activision to put 9/11 into a video game.
Maybe they're like, hey, you're not going to let us do this in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We'll do it ourselves.
Right.
Well, that's fair. So did you, Frog? Did you mostly play the COD campaigns, or were you a multiplayer kid a little bit too?
Those I was big into the multiplayer. I love the COD multiplayer, which is funny because like I don't know. Yeah, the progression and stuff and like the unlocks, like I was hooked on that. But it's weird because that's one of my complaints with like Halo Reach. I don't like how they copied the ranking system and stuff. But yeah.
That's funny. I feel like that's one of like the good parts of Reach, like the fact that it had like cool progression and you could work toward Inheritor and stuff. Like,
I like the armor and stuff. I do remember like the grind it would take to get some of those things. But
you said to unplug
yeah, I
your
did like.
Ethernet cable and then you're set.
I don't know about that. Maybe I
So,
should have known about
there
that.
There was
But,
a glitch, and I think Bungie patched it. But basically, like if you had one of those wireless adapters, if you loaded into Firefight and you were playing in an online firefight, you could unplug your wireless adapter while playing, and like the game just bugged out and gave you like a fuck ton of credits. I did it a bunch, and then Bungie reset my level, and I never played Reach again.
Let's go.
So
Oh yeah, I didn't know about the internet until I was like 14. So like all the skulls and Halo 3 and stuff, like I would find with myself or with friends and like. But yeah, I always thought the Reach's multiplayer, like the armor and progress in like unlocks and stuff, should be separate from the rank. Like I love Halo 3's ranking system. I think it's perfect because it's all
Right
just
on.
how good you are.
Mhm.
Rather than like I don't like the idea that anyone can reach the max rank just by playing a lot.
Right, exactly.
But that is the
Hell yeah.
Call of Duty thing that everyone was hooked on then, which is why they did it. But
I feel like
I know.
H3, you'll never see it again, but H3 did it really well because you had both. You could hit, like, you could still get a fuck ton of experience to show that you've played a lot. But yeah, if you couldn't get a 50, you weren't getting general. Like, you might be like a hard stuck, like, lieutenant colonel or whatever it was with the gold bars under it, or like, you know, you'd see those people in matchmaking, they'd be like a lieutenant with like the gold bars under it, and you'd like make fun of them a little bit.
And don't forget, if you quit a game, you lost XP, so you were punished for quitting. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like I miss that system so much.
And you had to
it was
win.
the best system.
Had to win to gain XP. You know, these progression systems in games like COD, where it's just a bar that fills up after every game, that really does. That doesn't do much for me. Like, because I mean, I could lose every game and the bar is still going up. Like, it's just stupid. Halo 3, you had to win to gain that XP, and that adds just so much more to it.
And
There's a lot more
also don't
motivation to win
forget,
each game.
You have double XP too, so people really wanted to win in those playlists and play those playlists to inflate their stats to make it look really good. Like, look at all this XP I have to games played. Like, it was just a cool experience.
Yeah, it was so good, and then we never saw it again. Wow.
Hey, we have battle passes, okay? So if you could calm down. Battle passes are great.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So much better.
I love battle
can I
passes.
tell you my take on microtransactions and like cosmetics and stuff?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Please.
Sure.
I've always like not gotten why everyone gets upset about it because my thing is just like I don't know, I just don't buy them, but you know a lot of people do.
I mean, I get your point,
So
but
good.
like the solution of just not buying them, you're still affected by them, unfortunately. Like if a game is purely cosmetic, nothing else, then maybe. But so many games these days like tie all their progression into battle passes, and they have like all the armors and shit that you can't even get unless you buy them. And so like you cannot buy anything for like I haven't bought a Halo Infinite skin since like I bought credits when the game dropped because I thought I'd want them, and I still have those credits. So we're still rocking it. But like you can not buy stuff, but at the end of the day, like the other people are buying it, so the system still like affects you. But I get your point.
Yeah, well, like I remember being a kid, and it's like I need to play more Reach because I want to unlock this piece of armor, and you know that's something that's missing if like a lot of the stuff you want you have to pay for. So I do see it from that perspective, but yeah,
I don't throw a fuss about them as much as some people do, but because you're right, you could just not buy them, but I just think for some people it's that they just rather those items be in game and you can unlock them by playing the game, completing challenges.
We get more people
and then
playing.
There's people that would rather spend $60 on a game and have no microtransactions than a free-to-play game with microtransactions, even though there are $60, $70 games now that do have microtransactions, but still.
Yeah, that's
I mean, they weren't there back in the day, and they are here now, and I think I get why people don't like them, but yeah, you can just not buy them, and it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, like the main thing is just don't have pay to win. Like that's the worst.
Oh, of course.
Like anything lower than that, it's like even if it's annoying, it's not anything that I would ever get super upset about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, Frog, I doubt you've played this, but PopQ, I know you've been playing it a bit. So why don't we talk a little bit about XDefiant, because that just dropped like a few days ago. I'll let Jared, I even saw you were playing a multiplayer game again. What inspired that from you?
Well, I had nothing to do while waiting for the podcast, so I'm like, I'm gonna jump on XDefiant and snipe some people, and it was a pretty damn good time. I'm like, damn, this game is fun. It's simple. It doesn't feel stressful to play matches. Like there was a couple matches where I got my ass kicked. There's a couple matches where I kicked ass, and then there was some in between. It's like, wow. It feels like an honest matchmaking experience where I could just hop in and have fun. And it's just like not every match is sweaty. Though I will say the hit detection, okay, I mean, I got shitty internet, obviously, but the hit detection, these things does seem a lot worse compared to when me and PopQ played a little bit on the beta or wherever it was.
It's horrible. Like you get shot. It's like playing Infinite, dude. You like bullets like wrap corners, and like I get shot around walls all the time. And sometimes like I swear like the time to kill in the game seems fine when it works, but it seems so inconsistent. Like all bullet dump
I was gonna say that,
and they just eat. And then sometimes you'll shoot someone, you'll like 2 bullet them, and you're like, all right, get shit on, I guess. You suck. So
sometimes I'm in these gunfights with people, and they're hitting me, I'm hitting them, and it feels like a longer time to kill. And other times I am dying instantly, and not by like a shotty or a snipe, by like a AR or SMG. So yeah, the time to kill just seems really, really inconsistent. And yeah, this might be the worst game I've played for getting shot when you're behind a wall. Like it is really bad. I've still been having a lot of fun with the game. Like I'm still having fun. When rank's out and I'm playing that, and if I'm getting shot around walls every death, like that's gonna be really fucking annoying. But
what's the mode in there now that says it's ranked? Is that just some bullshit?
It's like it's ranked without the ranks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got to wait like 40 something days for ranked. I felt that was so stupid. They're holding ranked for season 1. That's just so. It's so. I think they like some of these developers. Well, COD's different because COD has a ton of content. This game is compared to COD. This game is more bare bones.
It's got 5 game modes.
Right. Yeah, like COD launches with a ton of different shit, but. I think some of these developers underestimate how much ranks like actually add to a game. Like it could be the difference between somebody grinding a game all day every day and somebody not even touching the game. Like I really liked ranked, and it sucks that it's not there right now. But another thing I wanted to say about like the getting shot around walls is like there's plenty of times where like I'll peek somebody and I'll go behind a wall before they've even began shooting me. And they'll start shooting me after I'm behind the wall, and all their bullets hit me once I'm behind the wall. It's crazy. It's crazy bad. But and it was like that during like the last test session. Like I did notice it then, and it's still there now. So I doubt that they'll fix it or improve it. But yeah.
If there's
overall, I've been having a lot. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, if there's anything I've learned from Infinite is that if a game launches with bad like netcode and desync, you're just stuck. Like that's just the game. Like it's just they can put in a blog post they're working on it, but that's just it. It's there. Right. So I've been enjoying XDefiant, but at the same time, I can't say it's like I'll probably still play it a little bit here and there because it is like a casual FPS that I can open, and right now there's not really anything else. But like, if Black Ops 6 is decent or like anything else comes out, I really don't see XDefiant holding my attention very much because it's kind of just like COD, but it just feels cheaper. Like the gunplay and the guns and the net code and like the movement and the abilities all just seem like some weird budget free-to-play COD, which is like quite literally what it is, but it's Ubisoft, so it shouldn't feel like that. But instead it feels like, I don't know if you guys have ever played Iron Sight. It's like a Korean...
I never played it.
It's a Korean free-to-play version. It's a Korean free-to-play FPS that's basically Black Ops 2, but free-to-play and from a Korean developer. That's what XDefiant reminds me of. And like, I don't think that is the connection I should make in my head. Like, this is supposed to be a AAA game, not some budget company, not some budget free-to-play game from like some Asian developer. Like, I don't know. It's a weird, I don't know. The game's, I don't know. It's weird.
It doesn't remind you of Shatterline? I thought you were going to say that.
Oh, well, that falls into the same category. So
oh yeah, it does kind of feel like Shatterline.
I've blocked Shatterline out of my mind because it just fucking died.
You were a Shatterline YouTuber for a little while there.
Dude, it was fun, but then they just never like updated it. To be fair, their country also got invaded, so maybe they were busy. So, but
is that where they were based?
They're from Ukraine. I remember seeing some posts like when it first was happening. I was like, that's not good. But I don't know. I think they started focusing more on the PvE mode, which I didn't care as much for. So I think that might be part of it. I don't know. I still like occasionally see a ping from them, like on their Discord server. I just don't care. But yeah, well,
I've been enjoying XDefiant. Like I enjoyed it during the test sessions. I'm enjoying it now. I don't know how, if it'll last, how many people, if it's going to hold people's attention long term. There's probably a lot of people that'll quit playing the game, especially when the next COD comes out. But it's I see there's some people calling the game generic, talking about how bad it is, and it's like, it seems like people are acting like we've had all these new good modern shooters. Like I don't know what the hell people are talking about. Like compared to a lot of modern shooters we've been getting lately, like this game's good compared to that. If you want to say this game's shit compared to Halo 3. Cool. I can get behind that. Like, that makes sense. But if you're saying this game is ass compared to modern COD, I highly disagree with that. I mean,
I think MW3 is
you said
game.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of things this game does better than MW3. I mean, I think a lot of like COD kids might like the movement in this game better. I hate that COD gunsmith. A lot of the maps aren't great. Time to kill, people going prone, visibility issues. There's things that XDefiant does better.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you like the abilities?
The sniping feels amazing.
I think. All right, so I made a short, and
I think it feels good too. I see some people saying it's bad. I thought it was buttery smooth.
The sniping?
Yeah,
I think it's too strong.
So good.
It's
so broken.
Yeah.
If you saw my clip, it's just so easy to fucking headshot.
The snipers
people.
are just one shot. Like the upper body is one shot. They scope in super quick and like they're accurate. I mean, I guess that's how old
I
COD
like
was,
it.
but
it's like MW2, man, with the intervention, just running around.
It's like old COD. I'm just used to the new COD games where it takes like 2 business years to pull up your scope.
I hate that. That's why I think sniping in this game feels so good. Yeah, that's another thing about COD. It takes me a year to scope in. Like it's so like.
You got to put in your request a couple weeks early that you want to pull up the scope.
No, you got to watch a YouTube video so you know the optimal way you can aim in the fastest.
Right.
That's fair. I think it'll carve out its own little niche. I don't think it's going to be like the COD killer some people hyped it up to be, but I also never think it was going to be that, like realistically. But
I don't think a lot of games are going to be that. I think it's going to take more than a phenomenal game to be a COD killer, because COD has just solidified itself as what it is.
I think in general, like, regardless of how it ends up doing, I think just competition in that genre is good. Like, more companies making like decent multiplayer shooters is a good thing. So at the end of the day, I don't know if I'll play X Defiant 2 years from now, but like I think some people will, and I think its existence is probably just like good for the space. I will say though, some of the abilities are fucking stupid. Like the shield ability pisses me off. Yeah. Like the fact that one of the guys just has permanent Promethean vision on a cooldown every 20 seconds is dumb.
Yeah,
that's the guy I use.
Yeah, I'm always invisible.
Yeah, but fucking invisible. You're shooting someone, they just go invisible. Like not a fan of the abilities.
Yeah, I was using that class, and then I switched to the healer. But yeah, I don't like the abilities. I'm not a fan of like hero shooters, different abilities for different characters. Never been a fan of that. Not a fan of that here. But there's other aspects of the game that I do really like.
How do you feel about the progression? I feel like it takes so long to level up a weapon.
I haven't been paying too much attention to that. But with the lack of progression in the game and stats and stuff like that, maybe that's a good thing. So you do have something to work towards long term.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is a level, but for the most part, the only shit you're unlocking is the battle pass, right? Which I didn't even buy, so.
Right.
I think there are like mastery camos though, right? There's like gold camo and stuff.
Yeah, there's bronze, silver, gold. Yeah, I don't know how long it takes to get those though.
I don't either. But all right, well that's X Defiant. Have you guys seen any of the clips for the new Valve game?
I saw the one you retweeted. What? It's a hero shooter. Like
it looks like a MOBA. It looks like a third-person Smite game. I don't know what the fuck it is. I saw there was
automatically not interested in that. So
I saw some new clips.
It's like a MOBA Team Fortress game.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I saw some new clips today. I saw a frag movie. Someone leaked a frag movie they made in the closed alpha. It has like editing and like syncs to it. I'll have to send it. It's a good laugh, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it looked very good, but then I like commented, like someone tweeted that and I responded like, this doesn't look that good. And then I got flamed because it's an alpha, so my bad. I won't express my opinions on the gameplay video on my feed. That one's on me. What else? Oh yeah, have you guys seen much of that Marvel game? The Marvel
Overwatch?
Hero Shooter, yeah, Marvel Overwatch.
That fucking game, those characters are so broken. I've seen someone like make a portal and like put the other portal off the cliff as Doctor Strange and the other team spawns and they just fall to their deaths. And like Star-Lord is just spawn killing people because he's so broken with his machine guns and no one can talk about the game because they're fucking had to sign a thing that says they can't talk bad about the game. Like, that's so fucking stupid, man. Well, who would even do that? Why would you make people sign a thing saying they can't say anything bad about the game? You know everyone's going to find out about it, and everyone's going to be pissed at you about it. Like, this is so stupid. Like no, it's like none of these companies know how to run a business. Like who thought this was a good idea? Like, this... Man, come on, like no one said, people are gonna find out. Oh no one will leak this. Do you think those Twitch streamers are gonna leak this? They're honest, good people. Come on now.
I liked some of the things that were in the contract that you couldn't say. Like one of them was you couldn't say that Hulk has no ass.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he has no ass. I don't know.
Looking a little thin there, Hulk. Where'd the thickness go?
He lost too much weight, I guess, man. All right, well, that's fair. Anything else you guys are playing that you're in general? All right.
Halo 1.
Halo 1.
Yeah, Halo 1.
Well, how do you feel about Halo modding these days, Frog?
My next video may be about Halo mods.
Woo-hoo.
So, but yeah, there's some good ones. There's some not good ones that make me laugh, and they're not meaning to, but you know.
Did you ever get your PC hacked and decide to play El Dorito?
Oh god. Well, I did play, and to be honest, I played like a couple matches, and I thought, yeah, this is all right, and that was about it. And then yeah, I got the pop-up, and I was like, I don't care enough about this to keep playing it, so I just uninstalled it and haven't installed it again.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I feel like I was really enjoying it for like a week. Oh, someone in chat said the virus warning is fixed. They fixed it. I was really enjoying it for like a week, and then I kind of just lost the allure. But part of that's because there's no people playing, which I guess I am feeding into by not playing it. But like, I was having fun because you could just play modded lobbies, which are like such a pain to play in MCC because you have to like get everyone to download the mod and everyone to show up and everything like that. But it was fun to be able to just hop into servers and like play a bunch of modded lobbies. But yeah, I don't know. I also got a little bored.
Yeah, I went on and I played it like Saturday night and there were 70 people online and I was like, oh, I thought this was jam-packed. And then like every lobby I would join, it would say Halo 3, but then it would look like Halo 4 for some reason. And I was like, I don't quite get this. And
a lot of the Halo Online assets were like Halo assets. So that's probably why.
But yeah, I don't think there's like malware with it. Like I get the explanation that everyone was saying, but it's also like I wasn't like enamored with it. We're like, man, I gotta keep playing this. It's so great. Not to shit on their work, but yeah, it didn't really grab me.
Yeah. I honestly thought it would pick up more traction than it did. Because the obviously the last time it was jam-packed. Like there were a ton of people on it. And yeah, I think I saw this time that when it first dropped, I think it peaked at like 200 players. And I don't think it ever got past that.
Yeah.
And I think last time that was a lot of people's first time even hearing about it, and we didn't have MCC then. So I think that plays a part in it.
Well, and everyone didn't fear making content on it either. They went wild, and now everyone's like, I don't want to get in trouble.
All right.
Yeah, that probably plays a part into it, but I also feel like by now, like everyone, I mean, not everyone, like I'm sure like the mainstream hasn't necessarily heard about it, but I feel like there's tons of people like on like Halo Twitter that all know it's back. They just don't care enough to download it and play. Like, I don't know. I think its use case now is too niche. Because before there was MCC, it was Halo on PC for the first time since Halo 2 Vista. Like, that was hype. And now, really, the only use case is, like, do you want to play modded lobbies with, like, slightly worse frame rate because the optimization is kind of poopy? Here you go. Other than that, like, I mean, the server browser is, like, kind of cool, but at the end of the day, if you really want to play Halo 3, I mean, just launch up MCC.
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it, playing it and hopping into the Halo 3 lobbies. It was like Halo 3, but a little different. But I don't know. I prefer a matchmaking experience with ranks and everything more so than hopping in and out of different servers.
Yeah, the way it was sold to me was like, yeah, it was the ranking in like Halo 3 ranks and stuff like that's why I was interested in it because I did not appreciate at the time Halo 3's ranking system, and as a 7-year-old when that game came out, I've never got past Captain. And it's like, man, if only that came out now, let me see how far into that I could get. But then yeah, I played it, and it was like, yeah, this ain't exactly what I wanted. But there are a lot of good like Halo mods out there, like Halo 2 Uncut that Vengeful Vanam's been working on. That's out. That's really cool. Cursed Halo, I think, is not fun to play, but it's still cool, and that guy's very talented. And then yeah, I've downloaded a bunch of mods for this new video. Like I have so many mods downloaded.
So I'm assuming that you've played the CE Cursed Halo by Inferno Plus. Have you played the H3 or Reach version by Gashnor?
I have not. I'll do videos on those someday, but yeah,
they're pretty fun. I mean, same thing. You get what you expect. Like, there's some bullshit, right? That's kind of the point.
Yeah. No, yeah, Cursed Halo to me, like that mod seemed like it's just a thing for the Markipliers of the world, if you know what I mean. Like it's a thing for streamers to overreact to and like their audience to laugh at, and that's about it. But playing it was fine.
Well, I see a lot of people played it on Legendary, right?
I did play it on Legendary.
That sounds like a horrible experience.
It was whatever. I mean, there were some dumb things that were annoying, but you kind of get into the rhythm of it and it becomes fine. But, there is BS, obviously, but it's not, but even like playing on normal, I don't think there's anything about it where it's like, yeah, man, this is so fun. I can't wait to play 5 different Mario Kart tracks in Halo. This is not going to get old after the first one. But but Inferno Plus, very talented. I love his video content. So yeah, there's my back pedal.
Fair enough. I mean, the Halo Kart stuff was like, it used to be a separate mod altogether. That when he like brought it to MCC, he like kind of combined them together so you could play it in the campaign. They used to be like a totally separate multiplayer mod, which was like on Custom Edition.
Yeah, there is a mod for CE now in MCC that's just called Halo Kart. I don't know if that's by him or if that's someone else. But yeah, I haven't downloaded it.
A lot of the Custom Edition mods got like ported into MCC by like random people, so sometimes it's hard to know, like, was it their mod? Is this a mod with the same name? Did they just take the Custom Edition map and port it?
And that makes sense because Halo 1 has a ton of mods, like way more than Halo 2 and I think more than Halo 3. Like I think Halo 1 has the most mods. So that makes sense
for sure. But that's because it's had mod tools since like 2004. So
yeah.
It's helpful. No, the Halo CE modding, like the scene is really cool. I feel like they've made some really cool stuff. Honestly, the Halo modding scene in general is really cool. It's just I always say it's unfortunate that the custom browser in MCC doesn't support mods. I understand, like there'd be some complications to it, but I feel like that's why most of the like big Halo MCC mods have all been campaign stuff, because that's just like the easiest for people to get into. But even then, I feel like I understand why it didn't, but had they launched MCC with all those mod tools, I think that things could have went a lot bigger than they did, because by the time we got all those tools, everyone had kind of quit playing.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun playing MCC, and we'll play it in the Halo speedrun Discord a lot. We'll play matchmaking, and it's always fun, playing MCC. Really great when it works. Really annoying whenever you get back into the lobby and it doesn't load and everyone has to restart their game. Or when you send an invite to someone and they try to accept it and they can't join the lobby. But when it works, it's a lot of fun.
Or you get stuck leaving matchmaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. I feel like we can kind of wrap up. Frog, any other franchises of your past that you're a big fan of?
Like recent franchises, or
just anything that you really enjoyed.
So yeah, Mass Effect, KOTOR, Call of Duty, Halo. I don't know, what else have I played.
Did you play like when you were into like the Halo trilogy? Were you into much of like the other Xbox franchises at the time, or was it just kind of like Halo?
I like Gears of War.
Yeah.
Those games I played. But yeah, I'm trying to think, because these days it is mostly just Halo. I'm one of, in the Halo speedrunners, like there's a few people who they literally only play Halo 1 and nothing else. I'm not quite that far, but I'm not too far away from that either. Yeah, I'm getting that way.
No, that's fair. Do you have any excitement for the new Gears game? If it gets announced?
I didn't know they were making a new Gears game.
I loved. This is great.
This is amazing.
They're supposedly announcing a new one at the Xbox show next month.
Yeah. I will say
2 of them.
Yeah, well, that's true, 2 of them. So let me ask this before that. Did you play like 4 and 5, or did you just play like the original trilogy?
I only played the first 3.
Okay, fair enough then.
But yeah, I do want to start paying more attention to like what new games come out, because I think if I want to do more than Halo, like the best thing to do would be to cover new stuff and not just like old Star Wars RPGs from 20 years ago.
I think you just go deeper. You just play the even more obscure Star Wars games that nobody's heard of.
Yeah, I mean, I could go that way.
No, it's funny because you say that, but at the same time, I feel like playing some of those older games, especially when you have an actual passion for them and you're not just like playing it for the sake of it, I feel like there's a good niche on YouTube for that kind of stuff. Whereas like everyone on YouTube covers like whatever the hotness is, right? So like I don't feel like you lose that much covering whatever's new.
No, yeah, that is a good point. Like I remember this video. I remember when it was published. There used to not be like any KOTOR 2 content on YouTube. And I would always look up like KOTOR 2 periodically and see if anyone was talking about it. This is like many, many years ago when I was in like high school. And this guy did a few-hour video on the philosophy of Kreia, who's one of the characters in KOTOR 2. And it's like 3 hours long. I've never sat through the whole thing, but I assume it's very nerdy. And talks about Star Wars lore and philosophy and all these different things. And bro's got like a few million views on it.
Yeah.
And it's this really niche thing. So yeah.
I mean, that's the benefit of. I haven't played KOTOR. I don't know who the fuck Kreia is, but like when you deep dive into something like that, I mean, one, you're probably making a video not many other people have made. But also, I just looked up that video. It has 8 million views. But also, like, it's timeless, right? KOTOR came out in, the early 2000s. Nothing about this video is going to change 2 years from now, right? Like, it can still continuously get views forever. Which, like, that's kind of the benefit to covering some of that older stuff versus, like, I mean, if you played, like, Hellblade for a video or something, it kind of has its hype cycle and then falls off.
Plus, when you do all the older games or retro stuff, no one goes into your comments complaining about your opinion, really. Like, everyone's just happy. Like, oh my god, I used to love this game. Like, I'm glad someone's talking about it. You kind of get those people, and it's cool.
If you want, when you start covering old games, I can just come complain about your opinion every time.
Well, hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can be like, oh, viewer mail. And it's just you every time being like, yeah, no, this game sucks.
I've never played this. Well, you should do that for the Elden Ring video coming up. When I do that next month, be like, "Oh man, this game sucks. I played it for 2 hours."
Let me look on Steam what my playtime of Elden Ring is, and then we can kind of wrap up the pod because I think it is 2 hours, and I never went back. I probably never will.
I mean, I did. Hey, I watched that stream. Okay, I was locked in.
I'm a real good Elden Ring player. That's why I never, whatever that first boss was, I couldn't kill, and then I chalked it forever.
You didn't even get by the first boss?
No. Oh, it says I.
Damn, I thought you made it further than that.
It was just the optional boss.
No. I went past the optional boss, but also it says I've played 6.4 hours. Well, how did I play 6.5 hours of this game? I didn't even kill a single boss.
You were having fun.
I don't think I was having fun.
In that village area. How do you sprint?
Oh my lord! All right. Well, anyways, I sucked at Elden Ring, so there you go. I should make a video about how like I couldn't get past like anything and see if I can go viral like that old that guy who couldn't beat the Cuphead tutorial.
Hey, oh no! This is what you do. Can I beat Elden Ring with less deaths than Kai Cenat?
I don't think I could. I'm gonna be honest. Also, I don't know if I have 140 hours in me. Because how long did that take him to marathon that shit?
But you don't have to marathon. You're just doing a YouTube.
No,
video.
I know, so but like that 140 hours. That's like
166 hours.
That's a month and a half of me trying to play a video game. Like I can't just sit there for a week straight. Also, I tuned into his stream at one point. And I tune in as he's dying to like, I think he was on the final boss. And then he just has two girls come over and him and his friend just get massages. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's why he was fighting Melania. Did you hear the chat? The text chat?
Oh, dude,
it's so unhinged. They're just like, please bend over more. I want to see these two
I can't believe he would turn text to speech
they
on.
They talking about the girls. They're talking about the guys getting massaged.
Yeah, it was something. They found one of the. I don't know how deep I want to go to this, but like his chat after found one of the girls that came. She had some interesting videos online. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, Frog, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was fun talking about games and Halo, and I'm actually kind of jealous on how you approach games. I think I need to be less tapped in. I think this is the key to happiness here.
Yeah,
you gotta be carefree.
I mean, you're talking about him not being tapped in. He's probably more tapped in than I am.
Yeah, but you still know of these things that exist. You just don't play them.
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, like, yeah, I had never heard of XDefiant or Hellblade or like any of this stuff. So
How have you not even heard of that? That's insane.
I've heard of XCOM. That's what I thought you were talking about at
XCOM
first.
is really good.
Crazy.
Did you ever play XCOM?
No, but I've seen people play it.
That's fair. I never played like the OG XCOMs, but the more recent ones by Firaxis, they're actually really fun games. I enjoyed them. And then they made like a superhero one, and it was weird. It had like cards in it, and not a fan. But alrighty.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, well, we'll wrap it up there. Mr. Jared, what should people look out for from you these days?
Well, I have a slew of video ideas that aren't reviews. A couple of them will make me have to play 10 different games, which I'm not sure if I want to jump into that one. But the other ones are challenge videos for Final Fantasy, so we'll see which route I decide to take, and hopefully I can get it done before the Elden Ring DLC.
Every time I have a video concept that I think of that like it requires me to play a bunch of games, I always think the video idea sounds like fire, and then I never do because I don't want to like commit that much of my life.
Imagine having to like beat 10 RPGs for that video concept.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. I mean, the video might pop, but time-wise, that sounds like a horrible time investment.
Yeah.
But hey, sometimes you gotta do it, right? You know, you never know what's gonna pop off on YouTube. But all right, PopQ, you're a shorts YouTuber now, so how's that going for you? We didn't even talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're doing short form content now. Probably gonna get some long form YouTube videos out as well. But the short form, this is there was a reason I never really wanted to do it, is because there's only like so much you can cram into like a short video, and like there's a lot of things I want to say on certain topics, and I want to cover like all these different things, and sometimes I anticipate what people are gonna say about my videos, and I'll address that stuff in like longer videos, but I can't do all that in shorter content. And I'm already getting comments like, oh, you didn't explain this, you didn't say that. I'm like, I'm limited to 60 seconds for a short on YouTube. I got a little bit more time on like Twitter and stuff, but I don't know. I don't love short form content, but I'm gonna keep doing it, and yeah.
No, I feel you there. That was like, I made a short on XDefiant because I didn't want to make like a full video. And one of my offhand comments, half a sentence, was that I thought like the gun balance was a little iffy and the sniper might be too strong. And that was the whole statement. And like half the comments on my TikTok video are like, what do you mean the sniper's OP? It's supposed to kill in one shot. Like, it's like, I could have explained this better if I had like a full video. I would explain like, yes, like one shot snipers are fine, but these are like way too easy to use compared to the time to the kill of all the other weapons in the game. Whereas like, it might be like the hit registration thing a bit too, because sometimes I'll like bullet dump someone with the M4, but then they just dome me with a sniper, and it feels unfun. But whatever, I just put the half a sentence in and get flamed.
Shorts stress me out because I'm just taking all of the other games I play and turning them into 60-second reviews, and God, I hate trying to do that.
Yeah, I saw one of yours pop up,
but they're doing well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But they're doing well on YouTube, anyways.
Yeah,
surprisingly.
I mean,
and they're not dead. They just keep getting views for some reason. So I guess they're growing.
you're getting ahead of the game, you know. When YouTube deletes long form content, you'll be there.
Oh God, that's gonna suck.
I mean, I don't.
Please never let that happen.
I don't think they will.
I know it's not. I'm joking.
They definitely have been pushing shorts to a certain degree, but
no, they got prepared for when TikTok closes down and all those people have nowhere to go. Be like a fallout shelter for them. They'll have stuff to watch.
I think we open Vine back up and just send them there.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But that was super short for it. That was like 17 seconds.
Yeah, that was super short. But that's probably better. Our attention spans are fucked.
So
if we just
if
we just take it down, and I don't
we didn't talk about the graph.
I don't get this era of like short form content. Like I don't like it. Like I like longer videos. Like I'm not scrolling TikTok. I mean YouTube Shorts a little bit, but like I prefer watching a longer video.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm taking a dump, I scroll TikTok. That's a perfect time to scroll.
Or you just put on a video.
I can't watch a
Podcast.
whole video while I'm taking a dump.
You don't watch the whole thing.
No, hey, I mean, actually, to be honest, I used to have a friend, and he oh man, maybe I should. He'd fall asleep on the toilet. I'm just gonna say it, watching videos. I mean, it's
Alright.
just
Well,
Man,
Frog,
what a guy.
What can people look out for you in the nearby future?
Aye. Did you say Frog?
Yeah, you.
Okay. More Halo videos, more stuff that isn't about Halo. I may do another Dead Space video. I've been wanting to do Dead Space 2 hardcore. But yeah, my channel is
that
youtube.com/frogarchist.
That is the no death Dead Space 2 run?
It's not no death, but there's no checkpoints and you only get 3 saves the whole game.
Okay. Interesting.
Which yeah, I've done it a couple
right?
times. Yeah.
Yeah. And is it just the Dead Space 1 also has that, right?
No, it has impossible difficulty, which is just the regular game, except really tough.
Okay, I got you. Fair enough. I mean, achievement videos are fun. Do it.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll probably have the VOD up tomorrow. Frog, thank you again for coming on, man. It was fun, and we'll be back in a couple weeks. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.